Greetings, dear listeners, and please remember this series comes with a parental guidance warning. So, if moments of intense gore, violence, heavy language, possible mind manipulation, and other things dealing with hard topics and maybe even certain psychological issues, if those could be potentially triggering for you, remember we have series that don't really dive hard into this and they just stay game wise. But with that parental guidance warning, we all know what that means. It is time for our favorite Mystery Meat Pit Cypher System Edition game. It is time for the happiest place in Earth. And, well, please allow me to begin with the recap. Since the players have arrived, it has been about 24 hours. It is now since they've begun their 2-week vacation. It has now been about 6 days since they started their vacation, their road trip, traveling across America to reach San Diego, and ultimately, finally, this summer villa home that is just in a very small, unnamed city in California, just next to a gas station in the middle of some place. 4 hours, well, 3.5 hours away from a town by the name of Vale. These things are important because when they reached the house, it was, of course, found out to certain players that this house is not just a house, that this is actually a living entity. This house is alive, but not in the instance to where when you walk inside you see organs. No, 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 no. This entity has, well, their organs are disguised as what we would believe is like normal household furniture. That is important for later, just to help paint the image of what the players have gone into. And as they approached the house and then when they entered, Riley exclaimed, seeing in blasphemous past by an individual by the name of Xavier. When the players went inside, Sticky Joe, Bethany, and Scruffy had, well, they didn't want to go follow behind Riley, who was, acting like. Honestly, they couldn't really stand the noise from him grinding his teeth, so they just bounced. They wanted to go explore the house anyway, especially because Sticky Joe found some entrance, Scruffy got some sweeping to do, and Bethany, well, Bethany was doing Bethany. She does what she does best. She was hunting the dwarf-sized killer, who was thinking he was hunting her. And then Yuretsi, of course, followed behind Moonlight, and then when they reached the evening table, Moonlight and Riley had taken part of the food, and which finally allowed them to take the webbing off their mind, so to say, and to be able to perceive entities from that or not from the third dimension. Yuretsi has already had this ceremony done for her. She doesn't realize it, but during the time of one of her village chief's shamanic practices and having her smoke from the pipe that contained various herbs, these were herbs not from our dimension, shared with them from the Fae. Granted, the tribe, they thought these were great, thought these were, mischievous trickster spirits, but no, these were just entities from the seventh dimension that were like, hey, we got some good shit. You want to smoke some of this shit? But language is a tricky mister. And because of this, they perceived the wooden nymph that, as I call it, the wood nymph that was fused with the house, part of a trifecta of events that happened to be able to allow this house to become a living entity. And whilst they enjoyed their dinner, Yoretzi was just, yeah. She found a space and was able to speak with the wood nymph, who followed behind her, realizing that of the three, she's the one with the good head over her shoulder, and the one you want to converse with. And after letting Yuretsi know of his plight, Yuretsi has decided that she is going to free this wood nymph, even though she has been told that only way I'm getting out of here is if I die. She's taking the challenge, and you know what? She's got a pretty good record now, especially with recent events at the parks, and she ain't about to let anything tarnish that. And then, but then at the same time, Mori had descended into the basement and met with the Dark God, but during his time, hey, don't focus on the dark thing. He's not evil, just during his time the words dark god had a different connotation, more like respect towards it. That's why he just goes by DG now. And during this time, he's just another entity from the seventh dimension, and he's more focused on trying to follow his dream and be a great musician and to catch the eyes and maybe be a pop star. But he can't leave the house. And after discussing with Mori and learning of the seventh dimension and the promise of things for his collection, Mori did let DG know that they're going to take up the challenge. And well, just like Yoretzi, Mori is a very proud individual and is not about to let someone tell them what they cannot do. And then at this time, as Moonlight had gotten up from the table because with the emergence of a certain werepug, that was Nathaniel's father, and leader of the Irish Mafia, because, oh, silly me, I forgot to add that this, as of right now, why Alkenfowl didn't want anyone in this summer villa is because this home is shared with the board of investors. I do apologize. I forgot. I have not even said that, but these are actually most of the members for the board of investors, but this is also the summit, the great summit for all the world's mafia members, mafia dons, and their most trusted members. And like I said, your board of investors, but you don't know that. You couldn't know that unless you were paying attention. Now, Moonlight received a lesson about silica-based organisms and a warning of a select species of silica-based organisms called the rock humans, and Riley went to go do Riley things, which was to go fight Xavier because, hey, why is this fucker still alive? I thought I left him for dead. At the end of their bout, Moonlight went outside, pulled Riley inside, and then that's when Xavier looked at her in the eye and said, I am a rock, I am an island. Moonlight understood, remembering the warning from Nathaniel's father, and booked it inside the house and ran away. And then, as this ominous feeling went on, we went to Bethany, who finally had, well, before then, Bethany, Scruffy, and Sticky Joe had met up, and after encountering the Sicilian mafia that were in their avian-based forms, they went downstairs and encountered the Fae, who, I do apologize. I should have also added that the Fae fit into this because they handle the money. They're smart. You don't fix what's not broke. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Then the Fae, they know how to launder money, man. So that's why they're there. Anyway, they went downstairs to where they were told some short guy with a cape, fitting the description of the dwarf-sized killer, was. After speaking with the new king of the Fae, and actually completely misunderstanding what he was talking about, Sticky Joe went off with him. And, well, he learned that this man is actually the man who taught Armstrong all the ways to man the way of mandom. And after the most manliest display of man that has ever manned, Sticky Joe was knocked to next week and back. He literally had the color knocked off his ass. But with that came an awakening, and Sticky Joe realized he needed to truly understand himself and to pursue the memory that he had long forgotten. And Bethany was given her prize of a rump roast taken from the dwarf-sized killer himself, and after she finally had her feast, well, she wanted more, but what greeted her at the door, slicing it open, was the dwarf-sized killer, and then finally, with an amazing confrontation between the two, which wound up revealing that Nathan is a virgin, and Bethany and him, nothing happened, just some making out, light petting. But other than that, there was no hanky-panky. But with that distraction, Bethany was able to do an Ant-Man special on Dwarf-Sized Killer, and the last thing he said to Bethany as he was giving into death's graces was, Alkenfell sent him. He told him to do this. And Bethany came, just racking her brain, she came to many conclusions. But I will let Bethany say all this during the group RP. Because then this led to, well, the players didn't know this, but Xavier finally took his face off and he revealed who he truly was. A rock human. A rock human by the name of Blue Hawaii. And Blue Hawaii was, well, looks like my little time. It's been a great 15 years here getting the job done, but my time is done. And, well, if I'm going to leave, I might as well fuck some shit because I have some other things to take care of, but I might as well get some fun off too. And he killed the Dark God's other right-hand man besides what was supposed to be Xavier, Spencer. And his tongue was found in Moonlight's room. Moonlight, well, gosh, she didn't want Riley to panic or anything. She cleaned it up. Pocketed the tongue. But the seed's still there. The evidence, the mirror was shattered. There's still what was evidently was buried in it because she also found a stone karambit. And that whole morning, just a series of peculiar and unfortunate events just happened to follow back to back to back. The players all met in the kitchen. They opened the Moonlight was the first to open the pantry, finding the just horrific remains of what was left of Spencer, except for his lower half of his head. Well, his jaw. Moonlight didn't want to have everyone panic, said, hey, don't go in there, asked Maury to try to keep people out of there, and went to go find the Dons. But Maury looked in the pantry. Yuretsy's hungry. Yuretsi can smell what's in that pantry. And it's just making her hangry, even hangrier and hangrier. And you see, Yuretsi doesn't realize it unless she wants to do a might roll when we get to the group roll. I'm going to have to reveal certain things if she does a certain things. But on to that in a few. But Yuretsi, following her sense of smell, Maury, just following this keen detective sense. I mean, honestly, I'm just very surprised. It's just, I mean, I suspected Maury would be able to pull this off, but Sticky Joe having such a great detective sense as well was just, that one blew me away. And then Bethany just wanting to share these thoughts with anyone was telling them to Sticky Joe. They found their way underneath a balcony. And by chance, Riley happened to stick his head out, go, hey guys. And that was enough for Maury. With assistance of Sticky Joe, Maury went up, climbing the balcony, going into the room. Seeing nothing amiss at first, went into the bathroom and found evidence of a damaged mirror, but no blood or anything. But Maury is a very smart man. And, well, they came to some conclusions. And as they discussed it with their group, Moonlight during this time had spoke to the Dons, but then had one of the most horrifying encounters that maybe she'll never be able to forget. And after this, she went upstairs to take some muffins up to Riley, and that's when she realized Riley said his jaw is killing him and that there's no way he can chew anything, and he's asleep right now, and all he wanted was some juice. So Moonlight headed back downstairs to the kitchen, and then just as she was walking into the kitchen, Maury, Yuretsi, Bethany, and Sticky Joe had re-entered the kitchen as well. And that's where we had left off on the last session. Now, dear listeners, you probably noticed, and viewers, you probably noticed I did not mention Sticky Joe during all of that. That's because we'll be finding out exactly what happened with Sticky Joe after he left the Fae room, after this group roleplay event, and I will leave this now to, I do believe, following as how I do believe who was leading back into the kitchen, I will open this group RP event to Maury, because I'm going to say you led the group and you were the first to walk back in, and I will pause myself now, and we go into the group roleplay.
Moonlight.
Maury?
Did you kill whatever this guy's name was?
Spencer.
Oh, I know. That's something Maury's saying. Because Spencer's completely forgettable.
Gotcha.
No. Why do you even think that? And why was you in my room in the first place?
We were following the blood.
What blood?
The blood trail that led to your room. And the smashed mirror.
I will say right now, I'm just adding in for this, just for emphasis, Moonlight. As Maury says this to you, Maury clearly shows you the blood trail they were following that leads to the outside to the porch and wrapping around the side of the building. Please continue, though.
Did you wake up Riley? Does Riley know about this?
Riley was awake. Well, he was awake without being awake. He's pretty out of it.
Thank God. Maury, when I asked you to keep people out of the pantry, why did you let... Why? Just why? We had a deal.
Whoa, wait. Well, why are you hiding stuff? It seems kind of suspicious here, Moonlight. You know, there's blood leading to your room. There's a dead guy in the pantry, and you're trying to hide it. Like, what's going on here? And I have a few questions myself.
Well, first of all, let me ask you, how quickly do you want to die?
Bethany hides behind Maury. And still basically kind of points at Moonlight. But no, I had a insane dwarf chasing me this entire time, and the last thing he said before I shoved it fucking whatever that scissor knife thing was up his ass, he said Arkenfelsen. And now all these people are showing up dead and there's blood leading to your room.
So Moonlight just freezes. What did you just say?
Bethany retreats.
Oh, no. Bethany, actually, wait. Bethany, before you retreat, I would actually like to offer you. Would you like to roll intelligence real quick?
Sure.
Because this can actually influence on what you'll do next. So go ahead, roll me a d20 real quick.
That's a 9.
What is... Okay, actually, wait, I already know what your current tier is. You are tier 2, so I'm going to hit... And what is your edge right now? Did you remember to increase your edge? Or is it still 1?
I think it's still 1.
Okay, so, but granted, I'll help everyone with level ups after we're done with this, but it should be 2. So I'm going to go ahead and add your edge to this. So that will give you 11. You know what? For this task, I would say 10 would have been the lowest you would. So I'm going to say you meet this with that 11. And Bethany, when you look at Moonlight, you look into her eyes, you see genuine shock and fear when you mention this. Like, she had no fucking idea what is going on when you talk about Alkenfeld mentioning the door-sized killer. Now you can go on.
Okay, so Bethany does notice this, and she kind of steps from behind Maury, not too much because Moonlight's still pretty big. And she looks at Moonlight and she kind of like gives this like frown. And it's like, so you don't know about this. Then go ahead.
I'm not. Moonlight certainly has a dead serious, like all the glow, all the happy, all the ditzy, all the Moonlight lightness about her, just gone. And all you're going to see is a big ass fucking monster, and Moonlight is being in pure soldier mode. She's gonna look at you in the eyes. You will never ask these questions again, and you will never mention that name again. Not to me, not to Maury, not to anybody. Do you understand?
You don't get to make these decisions.
Then you will die. That was your decision. And I'm gonna walk away.
So here's my quick question before any of that goes on. Because there was actually something about to go on, because I'm trying to type this properly in the chat to make it ominous. Okay. So
I saw that.
So 2 things. Bethany, could you do me a quick favor and answer Maury's question about how tall Bethany is?
Ooh, I want to say she's about the shortest person, so I'd say like 5'5".
And I have to actually do multiple rolls with a certain person. Yuritsi. I'm going to give you a couple rolls here. So the first and foremost is I would like you to roll your intelligence for me. This isn't have a difficulty rating. This is just I just want you to roll it for me.
That's a dirty 20.
Oh. So you are actually perfectly able to read between the lines of what Moonlight is saying. You're seeing that this is not a threat Moonlight is directing at you. She is, in her own way, warning you that what you guys are talking about is going to kill you. But that is not the most important thing. Because Yuretsi, as you're getting ready to say something, just a comment, your tongue happens to just leave your mouth and drip, 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 drip. So, give me a toughness roll, Yuretsi, as you just get that copper metallic, irony taste in your mouth. It's blood.
That's a 7.
So, dear listeners, now I know everyone has always expected me to be. Oh man, my heart is racing right now. Yuretsi, you lose control of your senses. Your fingers just split as these talons rip from the end of your fingers. Literally, your little fingernails are dangling on these talons as you. Okay, I need to ask. Now, I'm going to ask, please be honest. Even though you can suspect what's coming up, I need you to be honest with me. How does this layout look? Yuretsi, where were you standing?
I had begun confronting Moonlight as she was walking away. So.
Bethany, Maury, Sticky Joe, thank Yuretsi for the way that she just said that, because she just saved your asses. As she fucking bolts through that doorway, literally ripping the doors off the hinges, bolting it, her fingers digging in the ground, ripping, just. She's frothing the mouth. She's hungry. She's following that coppery scent. But I'm going to be fair. I am going to allow Bethany, Maury, Sticky Joe. How are you going to react at the sight of this? Scruffy, I am about to come to you, because we're about to have an explosive meeting here in a second.
Maury's seen worse. Maury's seen some shit. So, this is maybe small pause.
Definitely just blinks. It's like with all the orgies, he ate a person. This is actually pretty fun now. She smiles.
Are you going to follow behind where Yuretsi went? Same question, Maury.
I will, but I don't want to be the first one to, just in case.
Oh, no. Roger Dodgers. And before you answer, Bethany, Sticky Joe, are you going to follow behind Yuretsi as well?
She didn't eat her breakfast. I gotta bring her food. Sticky Joe's, of course, gonna chase after Yuretsi with a hot plate of breakfast.
Sticky Joe, roll me your intelligence real quick. This doesn't have a difficulty rolling. I just need you to roll it for me real quick.
Okay. Where did my dice go? Yeah, my cat decided they wanted to play with my dice. Okay, and that is a 17.
I don't know if this is good or bad, but you can take it however you want, Sticky Joe, because as you're running behind Yuretsi, I'm going to say you're leading the patrol. Maury, you'll be second. Bethany, if you're following, you'll be third. But Sticky Joe, in your head, all you think is, I haven't seen Armstrong since the afternoon, since the whole thing with the Fae yesterday. It's been quite a while. Where is he? Probably not that big of a deal. You do know he's supposed to be staying here in the house somewhere. I mean, he can't be anywhere. It's not going to be bad. What's the worst that could happen? Moonlight. Everyone just rushing past you. Yuretsi, you're just losing your sights. Even though you pass by all the dawns going up the stairs, you don't even care the fact that there's a body lying on the ground with a sheet over the top of it. You just fucking barrel up these stairs. But for everyone else, Maury, Bethany, and Sticky Joe, all three of you see the dawns and you see a body with a sheet over the top of it. Someone dead.
Oh my God, kill someone else.
You add that to your body count, you just, that's 2 people now, Bethany. You're just, And you're all going up the stairs. This is getting odd. You're going, and actually, Bethany, you're realizing the path you guys are taking. You're going towards Armstrong's room. Barreling. Fucking Uretzi, you're getting ready to drop kick the door to open it to this bedroom. The door's already open. There's so much blood. So much viscera. And as you look straight ahead of you, there's Sticky Joe. There's Scruffy. And Scruffy, you're standing there, you're in Armstrong's room, surrounded by the most horrifying scene of gore as what's left of Armstrong and his wife, you could say is them, is left in their bed, and viscera all over the room.
Bethany
Now,
will.
I gotta ask really quick.
Yes.
Did I see Uretzi transform though?
No.
Begin transforming?
No. You just see her frothing at the mouth, and you just see these. Well, for you, it just looks like she has really long nails.
Okay, so then I'm gonna walk in. I'm not gonna be transforming my arm or anything. I'm gonna look at the 2 bodies on the floor, and the state of gore that they're in, and I'm gonna go. Well, ain't the first time I had to hide a body this week. Oh wait,
And
are we discussing the body or discussing where to put the bodies?
And with this comment, we're going to rewind the clock because we need to see a perspective. Scruffy, after you had finished with the Fae and you knowing damn well better not to deal with the Fae, because one of the things that, well, if anyone had happened to ask about why you're not freaking out like why you had been at the aquarium, well, you think back to your days of being part of one of the most predominant paranormal societies. You were a very talented paranormal researcher, and then you realized in all of your most greatest horror that everything that was supposed to be supernatural was just goddamn science.
Or occasionally an old man in a mask.
Exactly. And that's when you're like, these nerds can keep their data and silicone bullshit. You wanted real monsters. And, well, even when you found out just more science nonsense with Armstrong, so you're just, meh.
So it was more of a surprise than anything, really. But he's dead now, so it's not my first body, not my first rodeo, not my first time doing this. We should really get him in a bathtub and we can chop him up into little pieces. It'll make it easier to dispose of.
But, Scruffy, before we get to that point, though, here's a very important thing, though, because your dream's about to come true, because I'm about to give you something that science can't answer in your mind. Granted, I can answer it, but nobody else knows
Is it whether or not if we chop him up small enough we can fit him down the toilet?
So, first things first, Scruffy, I would like you to roll me intelligence real quick. I just need you to roll me a d20 and add your edge to me for it, please. And this is going to be just counting for your intelligence.
All right, stand by. That is 18 on the die. Let me check my character sheet really quick.
Oh, that's going to put you at 20.
Oh.
Because you're a tier 2 and you have a 2 edge. I actually know your sheet because I just handled your level up for you. So I do remember that. So, Scruffy, you clearly, as you're sweeping up the dining room area, this is after Moonlight had left. This is after all that nonsense had happened with Moonlight, Xavier, and all this. And everything had gotten quiet, but then you just start to hear and how... So, this is my reward for you. How well versed is Scruffy in breeds of dogs? How well versed do you want Scruffy to be? That's my question.
I would say Scruffy's not a big fan of dogs. He's more of a cat person. They're lower maintenance and they clean themselves.
Okay, you know what? I will say you have more of a Felidae expertise. You have a slight passing understanding for breeds, but not that much. All you can tell is that this is a very large breed of dog, but this panting, but because of this knowledge from your Felidae and canine experience, you're able to tell it sounds a little distressed. Is Scruffy going to follow it?
Scruffy would follow it not for the distress, but because it's probably leaving a drool trail, and he needs to clean that up. The cleaning compulsion is just too strong.
And as you step outside, it's just so much louder as you're on the porch. Louder and louder. You're like, oh, God, it's killing your ears. And the carpet on the porch feels a little weird, too, so you're just going to keep walking. And then when you turn around, it all starts to make sense for this noise, because this is when you see the 2 massive bay windows that for some reason are on the 3rd floor of this 6th-floor building. I do apologize, I did not mention how many floors this building is. It's 6 floors. It does have, on the left side, on the left wing, it has a very massive sized, well, kind of, how in the hell is the fucking pillar drooping like an ear? That doesn't make sense. And it's not, what? But then you see the bay windows, what looked like blinds are going up and down rhythmically to what would clearly be blinking, rhythmic blinking of an animal panting. And you fully come to the sense as you see what would have been the porch is clearly the muzzle, would be a muzzle of a dog. It's the house.
Unrelated that entirely, Scruffy is already considering how to requisition a scaffold to clean that bay window, because there's no way that it's been cleaned any time recently.
So you're saying this out loud?
Oh yeah, he's now. I'm gonna have to figure out how to get a scaffold down here. Alkenfeld will probably get one delivered.
Actually, so based on this action, Scruffy, I would like you to roll me another intelligence roll real quick. Once again, this is not one that requires a difficulty rating. This is just to see if something happens and you're able to notice.
Well, that one's a 13. So is that with edge?
Oh, once again, so that's a 15 in total. So
right, okay,
that's
15.
More than enough. That's more than enough, because you hear the shifting of the ground and the opening, and you see a shed. Do you go to the tool shed?
Tool shed's always got something good in them.
Scruffy, this is your dream, man. This is what you wish you had at the happiest place on earth. There's a good 25-foot ladder. Well, 25 foot, 15 foot, 10 foot, and a 10-footer. So you have 3 choices of ladders, just a vast array of tools. But there is also a pressure washer.
So wait. Is this a tool disc? Is it bigger on the inside?
You know what? I'm going to let this yes be. Yes, it is.
It's the Tooldus.
Because outside, this just looks like a little skinny, rinky-dink little shack, maybe like an outhouse, but on the inside, it is a massive, just tool shed. So, yes, B, it is the Tooldus.
Mm-hmm. Extra planar space. I knew that man would come through for me.
So, here's my question. What would you like to do next?
Well, obviously, I'm going to have to clean that bay window.
So, Scruffy, this is now I'm going to ask you to... So, I'm going to have you roll a might roll. But, because of who you are, and I do know you have a vast array of skills, and I'm going to go ahead, because originally, if this would have been anybody else, to really give this house the cleaning it needs, because you're going to find more and more is just needed to be cleaned and repaired. Anybody else, this would have been a difficulty 6 rating, but because of Scruffy and your skills, it's a difficulty 3. You have to beat a 9. So go ahead and roll me a d20. And if you would like to add your edge to it, you can. Or if you want to try to lower the difficulty rating anymore, it just will cost points from your intellect pool. I mean, might pool, sorry.
It's an 18.
Okay, so B, I have to let you know, in the cipher system, guess what? You actually crit between the rolls of 17 to 20. And because of this being we're basically calling this Scruffy's version of combat because you're combating the stains, you just crit. Can you please tell us how you clean and repair half of the house so far? Because we got to do one more roll.
Okay, so I deploy the largest ladder possible to get up there. I don't use a pressure washer because those are devilry.
God damn it! You
Pressure
found
washers.
my trap. All right, B.
No,
Found
no,
my
no, no,
trap.
no, no. We use a standard squeegee and a sprayer around here. I tell you
That
what,
specifically was a big trap I laid. So damn it, keep going.
Scruffy doesn't use technological devilry, except for his arm, but that's different. That was given to him by a good friend. So he deploys the largest ladder, climbs up there with his sprayer and his squeegee. He does a good once over, looks at the shine, and goes, mm-hmm.
And as you're cleaning, going over, you notice some beams that have to be repaired, hammer some nails, screw in some screws, tighten some bolts, and you got those bay windows beautiful again. And the house actually, I'm going to very reward you so far, Scruffy. So far, the house actually starts to purr. Now, give me another might roll, please.
Oh no, that's a 4.
Yeah, so all that means is this is just going to take a little bit longer. Does Scruffy want to keep working through the night, though? That's my question.
There's no stopping Scruffy once he gets to cleaning.
Now, alrighty, give me another might roll, please.
14.
All right, that is enough for you to put the finishing details on the house. How does this look as you finish the last bit of repairs and cleaning, and as this massive gargantuan house starts to take more on a feline aesthetic?
So, yeah, like you said, I went around. I was tightening up bolts, screwing in screws, straightening up the beams, and over the course of like a repair montage, uh, I stop in front of it and I got my hands on my hips and I give it one, mm-hmm, and then I spit into my spit cup. and it makes that like little ping right when he does it.
And as you do this, and right now for you, Scruffy, because we're in your portion of what's been going on since you separated from Scruffy, Sticky Joe, and everyone. For you right now, it is about 3:33, and you hear just the most horrifying, gut-wrenching scream you could ever possibly hear. Does Scruffy go to it?
Would this be about the time I find the blood trail? Because I would definitely go to investigate, but not for the reasons you would think.
So
I'd be going to see what got spilled, because I assume that's what happened when someone screamed.
It's actually funny that you say a blood trail, because you are going to a scene, just not the one we first mentioned. You actually head to the kitchen. The pantry's open, and you just see a pool of blood just pouring out from there. And then you see a gentleman, and allow me to describe him for you, Scruffy. He stands about maybe a good 5'10", and he maybe weighs 145 pounds soaking wet. And he's wearing a high-collared shirt with the collar fully up, and it has blue and yellow polka dots with a blue tie. And his hair is somewhat buzz cut, but it has a checkered line pattern all the way around, and he has massive sideburns and a goatee that have the same motif shaved into it. And you see in his hands, he's holding just a massive piece of gore. I'll have to have you roll intelligence if you want to see what that is, if you can tell what it is. But in his other hand, he's holding what looks to be a stone karambit. When he sees you, Scruffy, he doesn't look in a sense of panic, fear, or anything. He just looks at you, puts his finger to his mouth, and goes, "Shh."
Well, I just rolled a 19 on the die for the intelligence.
That's a tongue.
Well, yeah, though, I guess I would say out loud, those beef tongues do drip quite a bit. I'll get the mop.
He looks at you and he just says, "I like you. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go take this outside. I got this. And you know what? How about you don't got to worry about, actually just take care of what's going on out here, because there's another team that's going to clean up what's in there. So
No.
I'll just close
If you don't get the lingua blood up right away, it's gonna just make a horrible mess. I'll get it taken care of. These hippies and their lingua.
And he goes, "You know what? Yeah, let me go deal with this, though, real quick. And I'll be right back. I swear." He walks out the porch, and he goes around the corner. That goddamn hippie never came back. And when you open that door, someone had obviously been slaughtering a cow, because there's just so much gore and viscera. And some guy's head.
This
Is
is
Scruffy put
why
it
you
together?
cannot. No. Scruffy's gonna just. This is why you cannot trust a hippie. They just leave their animal butcherings all over. Don't even have the decency to do it over a grate or something.
You're frustrated, Scruffy. You go outside. The house purrs for you. You can feel like underneath the ground a rhythmic vibration, and that definitely makes you think of a cat kneading. Yeah, this house is definitely just doing like a cat kneading under the ground. The house is imprinted on you, Scruffy. Do you name the house?
I will name the house Biscuits. Oh,
Scruffy,
wait, no. Bandit. Wait. Smokey. No, wait. No, Biscuits. Definitely Biscuits.
love it. Now, as you're just petting Biscuits, you climbed up on the top of their muzzle, which would be the top of the porch, right in between the bay windows, because it's going to be a lot of work cleaning. And you look up, it's about 5:30 in the morning now, and you look up and you see that hippie on the top of one of the roofs on the right hand spires of the house, and he sees you and he goes, "You seem to have gotten close. I think it likes you."
It's not about liking or not liking. It's about trust.
Well, you know what? I was thinking about earlier, and you really did me a favor. And have you ever wanted to be able to have a house that could move on its own?
You mean Biscuits? That's my house cat.
Oh.
Or would it be a cat house?
Oh. Tonight, man, I'll make sure I I pay up. You're gonna be real happy, and if everything goes right, this is gonna be awesome. But I got something to do, buddy. So could you have Biscuits open that window for me?
Well, I don't think I can tell Biscuits to do anything. I can
Well,
ask Biscuits to open that window.
I do apologize. Could you ask Biscuits, would they be able to possibly open the window for me?
Let me just check. Is this the same hippie that had a tongue?
Yep.
Or is it a
He doesn't
different
have the
hippie?
tongue anymore. No, same one.
No. Okay. Well, I don't know Biscuit's proclivities, but I know I certainly don't like opening windows for hippies. Biscuits, what do you think?
He hisses at him.
I don't think Biscuits enjoys hippies either.
Come on, buddy. I'm just a rock. I'm just an island.
I would suspect Biscuits would rather you use the stairs like a normal person.
All right. He puts his hands in his pockets. Okay. I'll use the stairs like a normal person. And as he keeps just backing up, he backs over the veranda, the other roof, and he's gone. Scruffy, you feel much better telling that hippie what's what. And yeah, you ain't open no damn window for no hippie. And what would you like to do next? As it's about 7 in the morning. Everyone's starting to wake up. You're tired. But there's still some cleaning that you had to get done on the third floor. But that's also where your room is, conveniently. What would you like to do?
Gruffle will go have a cup of mushroom based coffee and then get back to cleaning. There's tasks to be done, and Scruffy don't like to leave nothing undone.
And just like that, you get your mushroom coffee. Whew! The best part of waking up is some fun guy in your cup. And you get to the third floor, you find a really nice Hoover and you get to work. You're cleaning the carpets and there is a lot of dirt going towards this room. Scruffy, do you open this door?
Well, I would have to if I'm going to clean it. Rooms
And
don't just
when
hoover themselves.
and you leave the vacuum by the door, and as you open the door, you feel as if there's a breeze by your legs, but that's not the important thing because you look through, all the curtains are closed, but you're hit with an intense smell of copper and iron, just, and what smells like a butcher shop, just with organ meat. Do you turn on the light?
Smells like I'm going to have to hide another body.
This thought goes through your mind as there's yelling and clattering going on down on the first floor, but there's some squishing under your feet and your finger hits the light switch, and yeah, there's just the scene as I described before is just so much gore, body parts strewn all over the place, and the only thing you can tell for sure is what used to be Armstrong and his wife are in the bed. And as you're just standing there overlooking the scene, there's intense running gait, and the time goes to 7:30 in the morning, and Yoretzi comes through the door. And this is where we will start another group roleplay scene. I would just like to ask, did Moonlight follow behind everyone?
I don't know if Sam's
Also,
back yet.
I think Sam said she needed a minute.
Oh, gotcha. Well, oh yeah, sorry, she said 10:20. So, we'll go into the group roleplay event right now. So go ahead, guys, and you can all pick up as Maury, Bethany, and Sticky Joe. You all catch up to Yoretzi finally, and you just see the sight before you in the room, and Armstrong and his wife's dead bodies.
As you
Maury's
walk
gonna.
in, Scruffy's just wrapping body parts in plastic roll.
Bethany looks first. She kind of looks at the wall, sniffs the blood, then licks it.
And
Steamed
Maury, you were
rice.
saying though?
I wouldn't do that.
Steamed rice.
But oh god, as we're seeing this, and Scruffy is starting to get plastic out. Maury, you were saying?
Hold on a sec. I'm still. It's gonna take me a moment there. Why the hell would you lick the wall? Y'all nasty.
I just had to be sure of something. She she looks at Scruffy and like, you want to do anything with those?
I was planning on chopping them up and seeing if they fit down the toilet,
Uh,
but
I could do that for you. You can hand them here. I'll do the chopping and wrapping.
Yoretzi's gonna growl at her if she attempts to reach for it.
It's fine.
There's a knock at the door from there's just like a tapping at the open doorway. Does anyone turn to the door?
probably that hippie again.
I think Maury will.
You turn and you see a man that's standing, because he's like bent over. He looks shorter than he is, so he looks like he's 5'4", but in reality he's maybe like about 5'6", 5'7", maybe 5'6.5". Very curly black hair, very long trench overcoat. I wouldn't be touching all that. That's all evidence. I'm gonna need to document all that. If you all could be so kind as to let me and my boys take a look at the scene real quick.
Oh no, my DNA's on this thing because I licked the wall. He licks it again.
And who are you?
Scruffy, wait. Scruffy's gonna go, "It's the feds." And then he's gonna yell, "Do y'all got a warrant?"
Apologies. You see, me and the wife were on vacation, and one of my buddies, you see, I helped him. And some friends bust down a case, and he said, as a personal fate, that he would always remember my skills, and y'all can call me Lieutenant. And well, he told me some of the peculiarities that are going on, and he just wanted me to come take a look. And well, they have a private team here that they have for their, cleaning things up and everything. And I just wanted to take a quick look and jot down some notes. And he comes over and he offers his hand to anybody who wants to shake it. And he shows his police badge.
Don't talk to not a single one of them. They're not your friends.
Maury's gonna take his badge
I learned
and
it
look
the
at
hard
it.
way.
Okay, so Maury, there is no resistance when he hands you the badge. Scruffy, you are just giving him the evil eye. The lieutenant just happily gives you a smile and he's writing his book as he's looking around. And Maury, you don't even need to roll an intelligence roll for this, because even if this was a forgery, this would have had to have been the greatest, most amount of intricate work to make for a forgery, because it's everything. He handed you the actual badge holder, because it has his ID and the badge on there. So it has his number. You see LAPD, and you see Lieutenant, and you see
Shit.
Lieutenant C.
And he runs. I think I still have Lawrence here.
Now, hey, Bethany, I'm not here for you. Now, I do remember you, young lady, from back in the days when you were running around, slanging on the streets, but we're not here about that. I'm here about these bodies. These 4 bodies.
Okay, the last time we met, there was bodies, and there was an
Fifth
embarrassing
Amendment.
moment. Okay, yeah,
Bethany,
you're right.
Fifth Amendment, Bethany.
So
exercise your right.
The lieutenant is obviously looking at all of you and goes, "Now, look, I'm not going to come in here and obviously and say that, oh, you guys are in the room, you did it. Because, I mean, unless you
Innocent until
guys
proven
have
guilty.
miraculously just cleaned yourself and all your clothes of any kind of blood all over it. I mean, besides, Bethany, your new habit of licking blood on walls, but you have no blood on your clothes, so I know you didn't do it. I'm just here to help the Dons, okay? Specifically, I'm here to help the Sicilian Don. He's an old friend. That's the only reason why I'm here. This is going to be off the books. He just wants my expertise on the case.
So Yuretsi has an arm and leg, and she sure as hell isn't going to give those up.
Okay, I'm going to concede, not even ask. You okay? Those are you. He turns around. Hey, boys, don't even try taking those. Let her have them. I got everything I need, so I'm going to go downstairs, and I think I got all the answers I need so far. Except for you. He turns to you, Sticky Joe. Now, you seem a little familiar, but maybe in a passing chance or something. my wife, she loved to go to, national parks. Maybe it was somewhere around there I saw you in the past. I'm sorry, I'm trying to do my best Columbo impersonation. But maybe it was somewhere around there.
Cops aren't your friends, Sticky.
You know what? Maybe right now, everyone's just a little shaken up, and we can talk a little later. Because like I said, this isn't on the books. I'm just here as a favor. Well, I'm going to go walk the grounds. I mean, did y'all see how the house kind of looks like a cat and was purring? I ain't never seen nothing like that. I'm going to have to get a picture of that for the wife. Well,
Sticky Joe suddenly thinks he remembers seeing this guy before. He's gonna rip off a patch of hair off his calf and see a tattoo of Detective. What are we calling this detective?
Oh, this is where Lieutenant C. So this is
Lieutenant C.
D&D Lieutenant Columbo. Yeah, you're getting it right. But yeah, Lieutenant C.
Yeah, there's a tattoo of those two high-fiving in a park, sitting on a bench eating corn dogs for some reason. Sticky Joe does not remember getting that tattoo. But it must have been a good experience if he has a tat of it.
And as Lieutenant C gets his badge back from Maury, he's getting ready to leave as the guys that are going to start cleaning up the room. He's getting ready to leave as he stops and goes, "Oh, one more thing. Quite a lot of dirt. It's weird. Because I was just taking a look in the pantry, and there was some weird dirt. But here's the thing. Now, one of them lab boys were saying there was I'm not one of them fancy scientists, but they were saying something about silica, yeah. But if I wouldn't bet it all that this dirt is the same dirt down in the pantry. But this
Gruffy is going to pull an N95 mask over his mouth and say, "Silicosis is a terrible way to die. You don't want that."
Scruffy, you don't need to do this. You just don't.
I just something funny I just wanted to bring up. Don't mind me. Well, I'm gonna go back downstairs and take a look around. I'll probably be seeing y'all later. Yes?
Is there a dark corner in the room we're in?
Yes, there is.
All right, because Maury's going to back into the dark corner and just kind of disappear.
I'll come to you in a second, Maury, after that. But as Lieutenant C leaves the room, everyone, you just get a chill as Maury just did a vanishing act on your asses, just pulled a Batman. And
Bethany would actually go to that corner and try to wave her hands like, what the fuck? Is he
nothing
real?
there, buddy. Nothing there, Bethany. But I would like to open back up for group roleplay scene because we're still going to continue right here, though. So I open the floor back to you guys again.
So y'all see Maury too, right? He's not a figment of my imagination.
Maury is my dark lord. You will show him the honor due.
Okay. Yeah. All hail the all-powerful Maury.
I'm gonna throw Three Musketeers in the shadows and watch it just disappear.
Gruffy goes back to cleaning and fades into the darkness while doing so, but no one notices.
What the fuck?
As Scruffy vanishes, we still have Yuretsi, Sticky Joe, and Bethany in the room.
So you're at sea. How about sharing a couple of those arms? Maybe a leg.
Gonna absolutely be like death glared at.
Sticky Joe, roll me
Come
intelligence,
on.
please.
That is a 3.
Nah, just your imagination. Nah, you didn't see that. Nah. There was nothing to worry about. And you're just death glaring at Bethany, and because here's the thing, this is alien meat you're eating, and this is something you've never had before, and I'm going to have you do some rolls in a bit to address this.
Okie dokie.
Because, so, when you consume Armstrong, because he's someone not of this earth, literally from he's from Beetlejuice, that portion of the cosmos, and you gain some memories. And particularly, these memories are going to involve Bethany. So, first things first, I need you to roll me a might roll real quick.
That's a 14.
You just barely made it. You are not going to start bleeding from the nose or anything. You're able to keep the tightness in your stomach from cramping. No veins, none of that. No bleeding at the nose. Now, roll me an intelligence real quick for the first wave of knowledge that's going to come at you.
That one's a 21.
Okay. The first wave of knowledge that comes at you is completely decipherable. You're able to make through it. You see branches of Armstrong's life from the planet he was on coming to Earth, encountering Alkenfell, using his technology to easily subdue him, but then years later, them encountering with them coming through together, but Armstrong still not trusting Alkenfell. But then another flash, and give me a might roll real quick, because this wave that's about to come in is really going to hit hard.
15.
Okay, once again, you're safe. You see Alkenfell. You can't tell what they're saying, because even with this flash of memory, it's hard for you to really read their lips, so you're not really going to be able to tell, but you can tell from maybe just from the body language that what Armstrong is seeing in this instance, as you're seeing what looks like a glowing pod hanging on a long stem, but at the same time it looks organic, and this pod looks like it has a small fetus in the side of it that resembles Alkenfell. But at the same time, it looks alive, but it also looks dead. You can tell Alkenfell is lovingly embracing it. Granted, he seems happy and lovingly embracing, but Armstrong looks in intense fear, but at the same time, relief that this thing is in this state of death. Flash forward. You see when Armstrong
Excuse
had
me,
gone
sorry.
to Envale, You don't know why he'd gone to Invale, but he needed to go encounter an individual. You see him go to a corner. He's underneath a gas lamp. You can't tell what he says, though. But then the lamp starts to shift and move, and then a body starts to reveal holding the lamp. Literally the top half of what looked like just a little shadowed outline was really a face, just showing only the profile, and it looks holding the lantern up at Armstrong. Unzips his skull and reaches into his head, and then pulls out an arrayment of different bizarre looking herbs. Armstrong nods. He puts him inside of a mortar and pestle and makes grinding. Reaches back into his head and pulls out a little vial, drips inside. Mixing. Hands it to Armstrong. Flash forward. Armstrong puts it at the ground of this blue pod as he stares at the little thing. And you can tell this time he says, "You ain't waking up. Ever. Uresi, one last time, roll me an intelligence roll, please.
That's a 22.
It's up to you how you. I'm not going to implement any backlash or anything. It's up to you how Uresi takes all this knowledge as your mind becomes your own again.
She's immediately just gonna drop everything and start searching rooms, see if she could find what she saw.
Okay. Bethany, Sticky Joe, you see Uresi frantically searching, just digging through everything. Bethany, you find, Uresi, you find what is clearly a journal. This is Armstrong's journal. Would you like to read it?
She'll wipe the blood off her hands first, but yeah, then she'll.
Now, here's my question. Are you going to read this out loud for everyone, or just read this to yourself?
She'd probably read it to herself first and then say the important parts out loud.
Okay, so, everyone, so Bethany, Sticky Joe, listen up. This is important. You're reading the journal of Armstrong, of just after he finally started journaling, after spending many centuries on this planet. He's had many encounterings with humans, and just you're reading many different, just amazing encounters he's had over history of just very influential people, but it's nothing about what you saw until you see Alkenfell's name. What you see, though, when he says, "I encountered it," and he calls himself Alkenfell. He was clearly manufactured. You see that word. Many times you see the mentionings of Alkenfell does have evidence of being a carbon-based entity, but because of this means, and it's like you're also finding evidence that other humans and Alkenfell are of the same carbon-based species, so this means that, yes, whatever manufactured Alkenfell manufactured humans, and he's just, who did it? But then you're scanning through the pages. Oh, dear God. I always said Alkenfell, him, he, but he told me the truth today. Alkenfell is a hermaphrodite. Alkenfell actually has both fully full sets of genders, of genitalia. He is a full-on hermaphrodite. That's why he wears such loose suits, because he has breast, but at the same time, even though he has breast, he has a masculine like set of shoulders, but then his hips are feminine. He has more curved hips and feminine hips, and like I said, he has both male and female full genitalia, meaning he does have a womb. And he revealed in horror that even if he couldn't find a mate, they couldn't find a mate, he can self-breed. I can't remember the sign. Self-replicate. So the only problem is it's in a state that it can bear, like every time they've tried in the past, they always die immediately. But the last time they have tried, the little one has been, thank you, asexual reproduction. Thank you, Silas. So anyway, so going on, the little one, this one is in a state of undeath. Not dead, not alive, not living, but not living. They're just as if in a state of endless dreaming. That's why, and Alkenfell has used one last piece of the alien technology to house their child. And dear God, they showed me. It all makes sense now. Everything they told me before was a lie. This isn't about, no, they don't care about anything about helping mankind reach the stars. They just care about it. They'll sacrifice everyone to make sure that thing can survive. And oh God, I have to do something horrible I don't want to do. Page upon page, you just see I don't want to do it. I don't want to be a monster. Until finally you come to the last page. Oh God. If there's a devil, I made a deal with it. Oh God, the green flame from that lantern. I will never forget what I saw. But he gave me something from a dimension that is strong enough to ensure that he'll never wake up. They'll feel no pain, but they'll never wake up. And then, in the last page, what did I do? What did I do? Oh God, what did I do? And then you see, just from a couple days ago, I can't let them know. That little dwarf, little freak, he's the distraction. There's something else following us. I don't want to die. Please, let our children know we love them. Yuretsi, how do you feel after reading this journal?
Very conflicted. But something else is following it. Can I try to roll and like make an assumption that maybe what he tried to kill is still alive?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you may. And I'm actually going to you actually asked I'm going to have you roll one other thing, also with Sticky Joe. Roll me an intelligence roll as well.
Got a 20.
Oh. So
I got a 2.
Okay, Sticky Joe, you don't feel the terror of what is in this room right now. That's never left. But Yuretsi, you know in your head, yeah, it's not dead. It's just what Armstrong did was they put the Alkenfels child in an endless comatose vegetable state. And with what they've done, there is no way to reverse it. But they're still alive. But you get a very ominous chill in the room, and then you're just hit with bloodlust. Do you look around the room trying to find this intense feeling?
Yes.
You scan the room. Lamp, bed, chair, dog. I'm sorry, wait. It goes lamp, chair, bed, chair, dog, bed. Do you look at the dog?
Yes.
Give me an intelligence roll. Snap! As slowly a head wearing a magnificent pork pie slowly starts to turn, cracking in your direction. Arms, what was forming the back of the dog, bends out. A purple, thin suit with black pinstripes on it. Taller, growing taller. There once was a crooked man. He was tasked a job. I hid in the luggage, and no one knew all along. There once was a crooked man, and he had a crooked blade. Now will you three stay, or be smart and run away?
That was dirty.
Yuretsi, how do you take just this monstrosity taken in before you as this just really fucking rattles you here? And Scruffy, did you leave all the way or did you stay?
He just said he faded into the background.
Okay. But, so, Yuretsi, how do you take this? This is like a really big shock, what you're seeing. This is... You've seen things even in the happiest place on Earth, even in the PBSO. This is something you just can't comprehend.
Even if she can't, there's other people in the room, so she's gonna stand in front of them protectively.
Bethany, Sticky Joe, if you look at the crooked man, you're going to need to roll an intelligence roll first and foremost.
Hey, that's an 8.
Be able to
First and foremost, if Scruffy actually throws the dust in his face, what's gonna happen is, so the crooked man, his pork pie goes over his eyes, so his eyes actually come through the rim of the hat, and he's got a mouth filled with just what looks like shark teeth. You don't really notice a nose until the dust goes in his face, and what looks like just 2 holes on his face open up, and he breathes deep in the dust. And when that happens, his legs just get a little bit longer. Oh, I didn't realize I left some of me around. Is there any more outside to be found?
Can I
I
eat
am
him?
the Crooked Man, rock human, assassin, at your service. But you were saying, Sticky Joe?
Can I eat him?
What was that?
Can I eat him?
No! He is a silica-based life form, and I will tell you right now, this is a freebie. If you try to ingest a silica-based life form, any of you try to ingest a silica-based life form, you will die. It will have an extreme adverse reaction to your DNA because you're a silica-based life form. Sticky Joe, this is a rock human. And
You said silica twice. I think you meant carbon.
sorry, you're a carbon-based human. Rock humans are silica-based.
Technically, the worst that would happen would you'd end up with impacted bowels. It's like eating the silica packets.
Oh, so if things go happen and you guys able to autopsy him, this will explain about why such an adverse reaction would happen. I'm just letting this be for free because I don't want Sticky Joe to fucking die.
That would be bad.
So, but I do need you to roll an intelligence roll if you're looking at the Crooked Man.
Okay. Can I use my nunchaku gun to lower any difficulty?
I will let you lower it 1. That's how dire this is, my man.
Got a 6.
So how is the shock of... So what you're seeing is this entity, even though he has proportions, he's about, maybe now he stands about a good 8 feet tall, but because of how his legs are bent and crooked, he's maybe 6'2" with that, but and then even his torso is crooked, but then you also notice how his hands seem to be becoming stone and rock at different intervals, but then go back to being flesh. I apologize. I was supposed to be gone. I got caught in the work and overstayed. Blue Hawaii will be mad. But if you turn and walk away now, everyone will be glad.
Sticky Joe will agree if they decide to be my friend.
What? I don't understand. What is a friend? I am a rock. I am an island. Solitude is all I know.
Wait a minute. That's what that hippie said. You just said the same thing.
You encountered rock human?
There was a hippie with some lengua, and he wanted to come in the window. I didn't want to let him in the window, but he said the same thing to me. The Rock and Island thing.
Wait. Window. Is the doctor here? So, quick question.
Unclear. He was just a hungry hippie.
Before I continue on, I need to know if Moonlight followed behind everyone. Honey, have you made it back yet? Did Moonlight follow behind everyone?
Hell no. Read my message. I wrote
Okay.
you.
Oh boy. Okay. Everything goes quiet, and Bethany, you feel like you see a man in a roller derby walking with a cane next to you. Sticky Joe, you feel like you see the same man literally walking along the ceiling. Scruffy, you feel like you see the same individual just walking through the wall. And then finally just standing upside down with his back towards all of you. Are you pursuing me?
No. Bethany hides behind Sticky Joe.
Gruffy's gonna start transforming his arm. He's getting pretty uncomfortable.
Who is the fool? Then who mentioned my name? Who is pursuing me?
Joe only pursues love.
Oh dear God. I've given too many freebies, so I have to do this. Joe, roll me a might roll, please, real quick. There is no difficulty rating on this. I just have to have you roll it real quick.
An 8.
As an airplane is flying overhead, no one knows it, but one of the sinks is just jiggling and the water pipe is malfunctions, and a stream of water starts to pour down until finally a steady stream of droplets starts to fall down from the altitude they're at, and falling, and then freezing. Terminal velocity, falling. How could you ever know at this point in time you would be at the perfect point to where you are standing, Joe, that this little piece of ice falls through the roof and goes like a bullet and fucking falls through your shoulder, shattering your shoulder blade. Like you just got shot with a shotgun, buddy.
Okay.
Now, I will ask, and I want a serious answer. Are you pursuing me? And if not, who is the one who mentioned me?
Is he talking to Joe?
All of you!
Bethany gets down on her knees and cries. I don't know who you are.
Can I do intelligence roll to see if he's
Yes, you may.
related to Arkenfeld?
What was it? Okay, what was the last part of that question, though?
If he's related in any way to...
Oh, yes, go ahead.
Right?
Roll me intelligence real quick.
Okay. That's a 16.
Okay, so you immediately piece 2 and 2 together. The minute the crooked man said, "Doctor," this guy showed up.
She's just gonna point at the crooked man.
You're smart! Crooked!
Gruffy knew who said it, but he wasn't going to be a snitch.
You're smart. You're a smart carbon-based entity. Smarter than usual of the ones that I encounter. You're as smart as the woman I encountered earlier. You should be thanking her. She saved all your lives earlier. The first time I showed. Yes, Yuretsi?
I did roll to see if he was also related to Arkansas.
Oh, you want to know that one?
Yeah.
If you would like to know, you have to ask the question out loud. And okay. You're allowed to. He will take your question.
Do you also work for Arkenbelt?
Do I work? No, This is the one and only time I will tell you. And you will do best to only keep this to yourself and say no more. I am part of the medical team. And I have nothing to do with that spoiled little shit. And whatever he wishes to take one of my magnificent experiments and see if he can revive his little bastard or whatever. But other than that, he will owe me a debt. But he cannot afford it. But I'm suspecting Blue Hawaii stole one of my samples. If you can provide me the truth, I will owe you a debt. What is your name?
She's
You're
not
Ritzy,
gonna
do you
answer
tell?
that. She's instead
Young
going,
lady. So when he taps his cane on what should be a hard substance, literally it feels like a ball surrounds you guys. Everything goes monochromic. Young lady, this is not some little test for me to steal something like your soul. I am the walking incarnate of calamity. I do not care. I have no want. You mean nothing to me. I just care for my experiment. I just want to know your name for respect. You're probably the only carbon entity I have ever extended this to. My name is Akimi Satoru.
You can call me Scruffy.
It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
We call her Scraffy.
And so, but I will tell you now, I have no want or care for you humans, you carbon monkeys. I just care for my experiments to ensure my name continues for eternity. That little...
Not entirely.
He turned, so the back is now facing in front of you, Sticky Joe. You were saying I do apologize.
Mighty good manners. I'm gonna give a polite bow, even though my shoulder is all fucked up.
There's a bandage on your shoulder now.
Oh, neat. I'm not even sure that Joe is like completely human anymore. Shit, what would MacGyver do?
Ruffy's been a cyborg the whole time.
Now,
but I like his style.
With all your answers, I am sure now none of you are pursuing me. But you, Crooked, you have broken the rules. I will deal with you. You shall not escape calamity. You all blink, and each time he's walking in a different direction, just as if he's merged together with the chandelier, walking along little light holders, walking literally along the wax of a candle, and he's gone. And Crooked's just... He tries to take a step, but he doesn't know it, but there's a nail that's bent, extremely rusty, maybe about a good 12 inches long, sticking through the board. He didn't know that. No one could have seen this happening. And his foot was still in its silico, more fleshy state, and he steps down to it, going through his foot. He inadvertently turns his leg to stone, quickly turning, and his leg snaps. But it gets worse from there, and as he's going back, the window inadvertently opens, and he's just... Oh, I was following orders. And he falls to the window. But it's not just a simple tumble to his death. He tries to turn to stone, but he's... Something... just... A piece of dust, a big lint ball falls from a corner, like insulation falls from a corner of the building, going into the Crooked Man's throat, and he starts to choke. He can't turn to stone. He bends over backwards, Sumek. His neck catches on the edge of the ridge. His head literally snaps in half. But now it's just half stone, half flesh. His blood just starts pouring down his chest. He tries to catch himself, but then another nail catches on, splitting his hand in half, and he falls to the ground, not able to turn to stone, just breaking his back in multiple areas. And then a delivery truck is coming. They don't see the crooked man, and he's just, and then finally the wheel turns, spinning his head perfect 360 degrees, decapitating him, killing him. And he just shatters completely, leaving just a pile of gore and stone and dust.
Oh my God. What
It's a
happened?
good thing I secured them beams. Otherwise, he might have lived. Had the broke when he was falling. Might have just slowed his fall. You don't want to live like that.
While that's going on, can I try to find Armstrong's phone?
Yeah, you find it in the dresser. What would you like
Does
to
it
do?
have Arkfeld's contact in it?
Yes,
Wait,
it does.
these are these?
Yes,
It's
yes, Bethany.
1990s. It's 1990s,
Oh,
right? So
wait,
Dude, there's cell phones. There's cell phones
Kat,
because
did you
they've
just
been.
call him
There's actually
Arkfeld?
Alkenfeld.
well,
Or
yeah.
Alkenfeld? Yeah, I've been saying
No,
that
I
So
know.
wrong the
here's
whole time.
so allow me to describe cell phones of this age, since we haven't gotten to bring them up. Because there are computers, because they're made of cell material from the PBSO. That's how they have these super advanced computers and everything. They're literally using flesh of this entity. So this cell phone that Armstrong has literally has living cells of the PBSO powering it and using the basically boost the signal and everything.
Yeah,
That's
shit.
something. Isn't Ockenfeld my stepdad?
Pretty much. But what would you like to do with this phone, Yuretsi?
Call Alkenfeld.
Bethany,
we
Bethany goes to snatch the phone from.
actually we're gonna come back to you guys, because now I'm going to go back to Mori, as they had a doorway had opened up to them when they had crept into the darkness, and when we had finally catched up to them. Now, but here's the interesting thing that had started to happen. There was a reason why, Mori, you needed to step away. Your back started to itch. And God, it's just been worse and worse the last few days. You've felt some bumps on your back. And then when you went into this hallway, you fell to your knees and you heard some ripping coming from your shirt behind you. Do you look behind you, Mori?
Of course.
You see some spider legs.
Excellent.
But what did you want to do?
Maury wants to, well, for one, hide the new spider legs, but he'll have to fix his uniform later. But he wants to head down to the Dark God.
Okay, so roll me a d20 real quick for might. Real quick.
15.
You're able to pull the spider legs back into, basically retract them. It doesn't hurt that much, and thankfully with how much you're able to pull them back into your back, it just looks like you have holes in the back of your shirt and they can't really see the points of the legs anymore. So you have them successfully hidden, and you head down to the Dark God, and you hear some very sad wailing, and just sad singing, but it just really doesn't match the song, because the Dark God right now is just playing on this tiny little grand piano, but he's playing, "Oh baby, you got what I need. Oh Spencer, I miss you so much. You say you're just a friend. You say you're just a friend." Oh. And you come walking in on that, Maury.
Maury's going to completely ignore it.
You just see this beautiful, just little altered visual of Spencer, and it's just somehow the Dark God had gotten a picture of him holding Spencer up with him, and they took a picture together. Oh, oh, my little Spitz. Oh, you were the only thing I ever felt like having a son. Oh, look what they did to my boy. Oh, 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 Mr. Maury. I apologize you have to see me like this. You're most likely aware of the events that have happened. My little Spencer's no more.
That's part of the reason why I'm down here. I want to talk to you about what the fuck is happening.
And as you go, and then you see this very nice, elaborate armchair, but then you see sitting in it, because it's just way too big for him and he's just still too short and small for it, you see Lieutenant C. Oh, hi there. I was hearing about this, that there was some kind of dark god or whatever, and I wanted to come down and see. I didn't expect to see you down here. I didn't happen to get your name. Don't worry, I was getting ready to head out. I just wanted to get some information from the big guy as well, and his relation to one of the victims. I'll be heading out now, Mr. DG. Oh, thank you for your time, Mr. C. Oh, and oh, wait, one more thing. You know, apparently, they been getting word of, because, like, usually in my line of business, when we hear of a hitman, it's usually a setup, because a hitman, they can't keep their mouth shut. But I've been hearing rumors that there was some kind of hitman involved in this. But what do I know? Talk to you two later. And Lieutenant C heads out. And Maury, you have the floor.
Alright, DG, I gotta talk to you about a couple of things now that he's gone. Do you know what's happening with this shit?
So, look, now, I'm never too good with gossip and such. But well, I've been so I don't know if you know this, but apparently those mafia guys upstairs that come here every year, apparently they are the board of investors to some kind of theme park. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's actually what this house is inadvertently connected to, and because he points to the pit that his flower bud is over, that actually connects to what you humans call the PBSO, the Permian Basin superorganism. Well, so they said that Alkenfell recently has been having a lot of shady, underhanded dealings with individuals he shouldn't be interacting with, especially because he supposedly promised this board he would not talk to them. Have you ever heard of rock humans, Mr. Maury?
Yeah, but they're pretty rare.
Exactly. And normally, in all legends, rumors, anything connected to them with them, nothing good happens. Well, I'm starting to think these rumors are true, and Mr. Alkenfell has been having some shady, underhanded dealings with these rock humans, and I also happen to hear. So, the vice president, Mr. Armstrong. I've had a few sit-downs with him. And I don't. You probably know by now he is not of this planet or even of this portion of the galaxy. He comes from Beetlejuice. Well, one night he had gotten quite drunk and he had told me of a series of events that he had done something horrible and basically signed death his death certificate with Alkenfell or something. That he was a dead man walking.
With Alkenfell, that's easy to do.
So I'm starting to think that maybe Alkenfell wasn't just absent-minded and he was trying to set up quite a few people that he's been trying to get rid of as well.
It's also something Alkenfell will do.
So the only thing I can really say, Mr. Mori, is I think this is just Alkenfell trying to finally get rid of some problems, and if he is dealing with the rock humans, any price with them is extremely high, and Mr. Mori, I've heard that they aren't paid in just money. And knowing the sick, twisted nature with them, I think you can imagine what they would demand as payment then. Be careful, Mr. Mori.
I appreciate your concern.
And I have, so granted, in the midst of my crying, I have been, because I can communicate with those upstairs as well, I've talked with the Dons, and they did tell me that after speaking with Moonlight, they are going to be extending protection to all of you while you're here in this home. That none of you will be attacked by anything with them, as long as you're here under this house now with their protection.
No offense to them, but I don't believe in their protection. I don't trust them.
You know what? I can understand. Is there anything I can provide to help you?
There might be. But I can't tell you right now.
Alright.
But on the subject of Moonlight, do you know why? Like, she's hiding bodies and covering up murders? Because Scruffy, I understand, because Scruffy just ain't right. But what is up with Moonlight?
You know what? I actually... Give me a few minutes real quick, Mr. Mori. The dark god closes his eyes and his lips disappear. Moonlight, which room are you in presently?
Right now I should be back in my bedroom.
You're sitting there and Riley is just completely passed out. You see he took some very powerful painkillers and he is in very bad shape. But as you're just overlooking him, you just patted his forehead. You just hear, Miss Moonlight. Miss Moonlight, are you there? Do you follow the voice?
I'm gonna walk around to see if I can find it first.
So going towards the towards the bathroom you see now what looks like a pair of lips have formed. Miss Moonlight, my name is, well, you can call me DG. I am a friend, or a mutual friend of Mr. Mori. I just wanted to take the time just to ask a couple questions, if I could.
Yes, of course.
Now, Miss Moonlight, I will ask first and foremost, did you have anything to do with any of these series of events? These murders?
Models? No.
Then my only question, then the other question, why would you hide evidence then? Is it from the young man that's on the bed?
He's my main reason, but if I let the others see the evidence, the more they learn, the digger they'll deep, the more that they'll dig, and the only thing they'll dig more than more evidence is their own graves.
So you're protecting them?
Of course I'm protecting them. That is my job, is to protect them.
Interesting. Then I do not have any more questions, but I would like to say this. Sometimes, instead of protecting, it's best to unite, because that could be an even better way of protecting everyone.
So how am I supposed to unite a bunch of completely different people?
Sometimes just putting everyone on even ground is more than enough.
Gotcha.
Thank you for your time.
So where are all the others?
Mr. Mori is presently with me. And
Can you take me to him?
if you would wish to come, I will open a path to the basement for you. But
Yes,
also,
please.
all right then.
But also what?
WN, is that true? Huh. Apparently there's an altercation going on the third floor that's just finished. Something was going on in the bedroom of Armstrong, apparently. Oh. Mr. Armstrong is
Armstrong.
dead.
What?
Mr. Armstrong and his wife are dead. They were slain.
How?
They were slain by a... Oh no. I will need everyone to come to the dining hall so we can... and I will allow Mr. Lieutenant C to tell everyone, because this
I'm
is very dire.
I plan really. Since he's got incapacitated, can he set this one out?
Young lady, I can let you know that he is okay. So since you're away from what happens is the house actually forms a protective bubble around Riley. Nothing will be able to shatter that or get to him. He will be safe.
Thank you.
If you can you please let the others know to go to the dining hall at their convenience? Oh dear, I will let Mr. Mori know what I've been informed.
I'll make them come if I have to.
Thank you. And Moonlight, we will join you but first, Mori. DG looks at you, his eyes they go back to normal, as if his eyes stopped rolling in the back of his head, his mouth reforms, opens up, and he relays everything that he's just spoke to Moonlight with you. And Mr. Mori, I can tell you, I I believe every word she says, especially with how you said that Alkenfell hiring such people and such, and especially with what the good lieutenant was saying.
Yeah, I believe her too, because Moonlight may put up this facade, but she ain't a liar.
Exactly. I just get the sense that she really cares for you all and she wants to make sure she does her job and keeps you all safe, but as I told her, sometimes keeping everyone safe means everyone being on equal grounds, knowing exactly everything and being united.
So now
So,
what?
I'm going to tell the lieutenant everything, and I'm going to have him relay and get everyone caught up to speed. And we're going to ask everyone how they feel going forward, if they would like to either leave the house, stay here, because this, honestly, since we're all together and this house is sentient, and your scruffy friend appears to have gotten the house to really trust and imprint on him, that's even more to your benefit. Instead of trying to be on the road and anything could get to you guys. So, if you could meet everyone in the dining room, everyone can know everything.
Alright, but first, do you trust this lieutenant guy? Something about him don't sit right.
If I'm in the room, you know my answer.
I am really glad you mentioned this. Because he's really smart and everything. He has the right answer for everything, but there's one thing that was odd. He doesn't give the right body temperature. He's very cold to the touch. So that's why I'm also thinking, if anyone has any suspicions, then that will be the time in the dining room, Mr. Mori.
Because I think I know what you're thinking, and I think so too.
Be careful, Mr. Mori.
You too. You're many things, but immortal ain't one of them.
DG smiles at you and prepares the path for you. And Moonlight, you were heading towards upstairs, correct? To get everyone else?
Yeah.
As you reach the third floor, you see all this visceral and gore. A half chomped on Armstrong leg that Uretzi was eating on. All the windows open. There's what looks like a very crooked leg that's been broken and just there stone-wise in the room. And you are with Sticky Joe, and Scruffy has circled his rounds from cleaning and made his way back around and has just come through the doorway as you walk through. And I will leave this for a group role play for Uretzi, Sticky Joe, Bethany, and Scruffy.
Yeah, she's calling that number.
No, Bethany is actively grabbing that phone to prevent her from doing that.
I
Uretzi,
would
give
like
me actually, I would like Uretzi to roll me a agility roll real quick.
that 16.
Speed roll, sorry. And Bethany, give me your speed roll real quick.
Okay. 14.
I'm sorry, Bethany. Yuretsi, I mean, honestly, that was a perfect juke. Walter Payton ain't got nothing on you. And Moonlight, you see Yuretsi holding the phone, but you don't know that that's Armstrong's phone or what she's doing. And Yuretsi, are you putting the phone on speaker or are you just holding it to your ear?
I'm sorry, but Bethany's gonna be dead set on this. I'm gonna
I
probably die. Bethany is going to actually from behind grab she's hair.
Oh, God! But
can I
first,
whistle for Bruno? But I'm putting it to my ear.
I was actually going to say, so I have to reward Yuretsi's greater role because she is going to get the phone called. But I am going to let you go for her hair, but Yuretsi, you are going to get that whistle going off because ultimately, even with your guys' edges add to your role, Yuretsi, you still beat Bethany out. Sorry, Bethany. And now, Bruno, he's been talking with the wood nymph and the other silica-based entities, and he's coming to realize what he is and that he isn't like some accursed individual, that what he actually in actuality what he was, and that how his mind has just been scrambled. He's able to control his body a lot easier. So it still looks like a super emaciated skin flesh mixed with matted fur on its back antelope with human hands running in. And Bethany, give me a speed roll to see if you can dodge Bruno.
18.
Question: doesn't Scruffy's normalcy field affect Bruno when he gets here?
Oh, you're right. And so he isn't going to look all super emaciated. Now he just looks like a normal deer, like Bambi. And Bruno's just, God damn it, Scruffy. Every time, man. Every time. I look cool and then you do this to me. You bastard! I look like a Disney cartoon! And Bethany, God damn it, you Mean Joe Green ain't got nothing on you. You just shoulder check Bruno. Blah! But Bruno was just supposed to provide time. And that's what he did, Bethany. Yuretsi, you hear coming on the line, Armstrong, what the fuck do you want?
She's just gonna say, we got the message, leave them alone, I'll save the child.
Who is this?
Who do you think, boss?
Yuretsi, how do you know about my child? And I'm going to tell you this right now. You choose your words very carefully, Yuretsi.
I wasn't meant to consume things from outer space.
Oh,
We're dead. We're so dead. We're so fucking dead. We're dead.
Armstrong's dead. Crooked Man finished him off, and you had a little nibble. You saw what he did.
I'll do it for free.
Yuretsi, I will give you 48 hours. If you call this number and you give me a favorable answer, I will do everything in my power to try to stop Blue Hawaii. Because I don't want him to kill my daughter. I don't want him to kill Moonlight. But it's the only cost. 48 hours, you're right.
Lock eyes with Moonlight as he said that.
I don't want blue, but it's 48 hours, Yuretsi. That's all I can give you.
Understood.
All right, I'm going to give the floor to you. And Moonlight, you noticed that look that Yuretsi gave you.
What was the look that Yuretsu gave me?
Yuretsi?
Just as if, like, he was talking about his daughter, and then he said Moonlight, she's just gonna be, like, turn, like, oh.
What? I'm just asking directly.
Anthony looks at Bruno and says, "You're right. Small people taste like Vienna sausages."
I did not say any of that. But
I'm going to ignore all this completely. Yuretsu, Bethany, we gotta get everyone together. If you guys know the truth, then I have to choose my words very carefully, and you guys have to be very careful of exact words you're gonna use.
She's gonna close the phone, look at the remains of the corpse, and be like, he shouldn't have poisoned, that was the wrong way. And then follow after Moonlight.
oh, would you like to show Moonlight Armstrong's journal?
Yeah, she'll hand it on and then walk forward. Now she's
Oh.
gonna solve two problems very quickly.
So, Moonlight, as you read the journal, you learn what Yuretsi learned. You learn everything, and the most important fact is you learn about how Alkenfell is a hermaphrodite. And Alkenfell has, over many millennia, finally evolved, and their body has finally gotten to the point where they can actually perform asexual reproduction. The only thing is, every other time the child would die. But right now, there was one child that was basically on the border of life and death, and Armstrong was like, "Oh dear God, no, there cannot be another one of them." And he basically made a deal with the devil, sought out Lantern Man, was given a selection of herbs and a liquid from another dimension, and it locked Alkenfell's birth child, in a permanent vegetative stasis. And that's why Armstrong was killed by Alkenfell.
This is a lot to unpack. So, oh, go ahead.
She's like, it wasn't the right way to truly make sure that you, one doesn't follow the path they were set. You need to form an emotional bond, and she looks to Bruno.
Bruno happily looks at you, Yuretsi. Exactly. And with this, just like with a blinking in the eye, Sticky Joe, you just feel that horrible sense, and you too, Bethany, and you both jump in horror as Maury's just right behind you guys. And once again, I leave the floor to you guys.
Greetings, Master.
I'm going to just put the book away. I'm gonna put this in my back pocket.
What do you have there?
Oh, Strong's journal.
Oh. Anything to note?
This is a conversation for the dining.
Yeah, we gotta get together. We all need to talk. But as I told Yuretsi and Bethany, all of us, even when we're in this house, we have to be extremely careful not to use certain names when speaking, because our lives are on the line in regards to this.
But can we write them?
I'm going to say one name which we can possibly. It is the person who has raised me.
So saying the name Biscuit's okay, right? 'Cause that's the house's
Yeah.
name.
The house actually purrs in happiness when hearing Biscuits. Now,
Just checking.
guys, I'm going to be nice and say you all continue this conversation. And as you're walking, and now in the dining hall, there's just this bit, once again, just one of those big, massive chairs, and there's Lieutenant C, and still too short to be sitting in the chair, and black curly hair and everything, but you could have sworn that jacket was tan, but now it's black. Oh, hey everyone, glad to see you all able to make it. Looks like we're going to have some kind of big meeting and talk about everything. And everything can calm out, and hopefully everyone's happy with the conclusions we were able to make here. Now, he pulls out his book.
Hold on a moment. What do you mean we?
Oh, well, the Dons and everyone, and the Don's actually one of the Russian mafia Don known as the Great Bear. He turns and goes, what are you talking about, Lieutenant? We understand, but what about you? This was supposed to be some kind of favor from... you know, I've actually been wondering myself, because you came in here talking about being a favor to me, but for the life of me, I don't remember you. Oh, no, you see, you're getting a little mixed up now. You're twisting my words. Just don't worry about it. I'm sure once I give out this information, everyone will be happy. Is that a better way of saying it? And he pulls out his book, and Ori, once again, you just notice something off. The book before you swear was red, but now it's orange. He says, now, from my notes and everything, the best conclusion to come to, it looks like the kid Riley upstairs, he took all the... and he might have taken a bump on the head and just went into some kind of just killing frenzy. And, we can just say it and say all that. And I think everyone will be happy with that, right? The Dons all cock their eyes like, excuse me? What? Moonlight,
I
how are
need
you reacting
evidence.
to him saying this? Oh, more, he's... Well, I mean, look at the kid. There's obvious damage in the bathroom. There was evidence of what looked like someone cleaned up some blood, and the kid's obviously taken some damage, and he's conveniently drugged up.
How'd you know the mirror's broken?
His eye twitches. I did... someone told me.
Can I approach and sniff him?
No one told you nothing. We don't talk to cops,
You're
especially
Etsy.
crooked ones.
Roll me intelligence real quick.
Okay. That's a 23.
He smells like
Everyone.
marble.
Everyone in the
Hey,
pit knows not to talk to cops.
can I help you, young lady? Is my cologne a little offensive to you?
Everything
it
about
smells
you is
suspiciously
offensive.
like stone.
His eye twitches. His
Like-
right eye twitches now, and he looks at you,
Smells
Maury.
like bullshit to me.
You're fucking with my scenario, and you're fucking with my payment. Just
You're
go
really
along
bad
with
at
it.
this. Like, you could be so much better. You're really bad at this.
Just veins coming from his forehead. Just go with the script. Kill Riley and give me Moonlight.
You know that's not happening.
He's growing taller. The clothes are changing into a blue shirt with polka dots, silver hair with the checkered shaving. A fucking rock human.
Gruffy's already got his shotgun out, and his cyborg arms twitching.
You might want to hold that one. Must yellow scruffy son of a bitch. Alkenfell owes me, and my payment is her. I want to see her bleed. I want
I
to see
think
Riley
it's.
cry.
I think a certain Clammy will not be appreciative of you being rude to us after we exchange names.
He shakes in fucking fear, Yuretsi. You're fucking bluffing. You don't know him.
Say, I'll prove it.
Oh, hold on. He gets up. Literally the chair knocks over. He is shaking in fear.
You said Alkenfell wants me. Why? Oh, you want me. Why?
I mean, I guess the cat's out of the bag. Your little adoptive daddy. Well, apparently he's a mommy and a daddy, and he was finally able to sprout his own flesh and blood brat. But apparently Armstrong, he does a slitting across the throat motion. And, well, the only way that child's going to make it, he reaches into his shirt, and he pulls out a very peculiar looking fruit. It looks like a strawberry. No, like a fig. Just a little bit of this right here. Of this rokakaka. And the little guy will make it. But I don't want fucking money. I have more money than this planet can produce. I am fine. I like to experience things. And I mean, when I got to cause the fall of Rome, that was just orgasmic. And I've always wanted to shatter true love, which is why I want Moonlight. Her and Riley's love is just so cute. It makes me fucking sick.
Can I try to mimic his voice?
Oh, dear God. What are you doing?
She's gonna say the thing she shouldn't.
Oh, no! What comes out of your mouth is Akimi Satoru. In his voice. Everything just goes silent. The Dawn's faces turn white. Moonlight, your face turns white. And everything just goes silent. And right behind Blue Hawaii is the doctor. Well. It appears there is truth. You did take test subject 621 of the Rokakaka, Blue Hawaii. And I've heard the rumors are true. Then you've been playing with that little shit. Alkenfell. You set me up. That wasn't me! That wasn't me! I didn't do it! She did it!
I heard you very clearly. Didn't we?
Scruffy heard you. And Scruffy ain't no snitch.
Absolutely.
And she's like, if I can have that experiment, I'll give you one of my favorite books.
Good. Now, I will tell you right now, Blue Hawaii. These individuals have each proven to be honest when I have asked them a question. You have lied to me on many an occasion. I don't trust you. You are clearly have the evidence in your hand. He snaps his finger. His hands just slip, and the fruit rolls across the floor and hits your foot, Yuretsi. If a certain person was to pick that up, I would pretend I had no idea they had it in their possession. This is your one chance to have it for free.
So I give like appreciative bow and still leave the book as she promised.
And then now, Blue Hawaii, there's one last thing that awaits you. No, I'm sorry, but you pursued me, and calamity knows no friend, it knows no family, it knows no love. And remember, we are rocks, we are islands. Blue Hawaii, goodbye, Blue Hawaii. As the doctor walks away, Blue Hawaii he fucking is running around the table, trying to grab someone, just holding them in front of him. They push him away, and he's just, no! I planned everything fucking perfect. Everything was perfect! Everything was perfect!
Nah, I don't think it was, because you fucked up.
Yeah, not
No,
perfect enough, buddy.
Oh, and that's when finally you just hear like what just sounds like glass rolling. Does everyone turn and look what just sounds like glass rolling?
Yep.
And you
Yep.
see a glass eye, and then you see a man fitting the description that Blue Hawaii was disguised as, but wearing the real tan jacket. Picks up the glass eye and puts it up in his eye and goes, yeah, but where you messed up was some of the people here were suspecting things were about to go down the way they were. And they called me. And Blue Hawaii looks, and a bookshelf moves out of the way, and like out of a fucking Agatha Christie novel, fucking Armstrong's there, and he's just missing a leg. Yeah, it cost me a leg to pull this off, but it was worth it to be able to get you, you son of a bitch. He just stops, and he just looks up and just says, I am a rock. I am an island. And unbeknownst to Blue Hawaii, the roof above you guys, this section of the dining room had turned to glass, and a massive weather vane had broken off the roof. It falls through the glass roof, the glass cutting Blue Hawaii's arms off, slitting his throat, and the weather vane stabs through his heart. And he just, tears full of eyes, reaching at moonlight, turns to marble.
So you get for being rude.
And Holy fucking shit. You guys have triggered a hidden route and actually caused the season finale to go a completely different way now. And I am really glad I went extra long for this session because this was a fucking worth it, everyone. And, well, we will actually hold off here because in the next session, in celebration of being able to defeat Blue Hawaii and actually save Moonlight and prevent Riley from getting framed, they're going to have the talent show. But this was one hell of a session, and when we were recording it, it was my birthday, and this was worth it for me to do such a long session. I'm really happy with how this one went. This was awesome. And I hope everyone had fun with it. And because you guys united, you prevented Blue Hawaii from causing the house to go on a rampage. So you say, once again, also inadvertently saved a lot of lives, so you will get a big reward for this going into the next session. So this was an exciting one, dear listeners. So we will be stopping here, and until the next one, dear listeners, goodbye.